What it do, yo man? Listen, today I have a very comfortable longsword build for Monster Hunter Wilds. Let's get right into it, yeah? Now, there are a lot of builds in the game, all over YouTube and whatnot, which are definitely the best builds in the game. However, they require stuff from you, right? Like you have to do X to get the bonus, you have to do Y to get this, and they do absolutely do the most amount of damage, no doubt about that. But personally, when I'm hunting, I don't want to think too much. And I get the joke, hey, Draupnir, you're a longsword player, you don't like to think. Okay, funny, haha. I do think that this build is also applicable to something like sword and shield and whatnot. Other weapons, I'm not too comfortable with them, so I don't want to go around spreading misinformation. The weapon I'm using is the Artian Paralysis weapon. For it, I just selected 3 attack boosts, and all of them have the paralysis element. So that's why we get 100 paralysis. This is pretty good. I like the fact that it has 3 level 3 decoration slots. I'm a fan of that. 5% base affinity also works out fine. Other than that, as you can see, I have 4 attack boosts and 1 sharpness boost. You can definitely get away with using 5 attack boosts, but personally, I like the 1 level of sharpness boost that it provides, where you don't really have to sharpen in a hunt because of a certain skill you have. As for the armor pieces, we're wearing 2-piece Ebony Odogaron, so we're getting the burst boost level 1, and we're wearing 2 pieces of Gore Magala. Sorry, Monster Hunter names are hard. So we're getting Black Eclipse 1. If you don't know, Ebony gives it so Ebony makes it so when you're attacking monsters, you get attack +3, which is pretty cute. And Gore Magala makes it so when you fight a monster or when you're fighting a big monster, you get infected with frenzy and you cure it, you do more damage, antivirus and whatnot. It's not too crazy. We're wearing the Arc Vulcan Mail Beta. 1 piece, it doesn't really do anything. With 1 piece, you need 2, but it's pretty, it's a comfortable chest piece, not in the sense that like it's good to wear, it's just it has a level 3 deco slot on it and a level 2, as well as it also has a weakness exploit, which is pretty cool. So the skills we have is 5 levels of crit boost because you are critting a lot in this build. 3 levels of razor sharp. I see people using Master's Touch. Master's Touch is cool, but if you're not critting and if you're getting unlucky with the 20%, it might feel bad. Personally, I prefer razor sharp. We have 1 level of handicraft that comes from the gem, which is giving 3 levels of razor sharp. It's not bad whatsoever. It's welcome, absolutely. We have 5 levels of weakness exploit, 5 levels of burst, 3 levels of max might. These are all things that don't. What is that? Goodness. Anyways, these are all skills that really don't require too much from you. Weakness exploit just gives you crit when you're hitting the weak spots. Pretty cool. Burst just gives you, more damage when you're hitting the monster. Max might is giving you a 30% crit chance at level 3, which is pretty cool. Especially on longsword, you might dodge stuff. Personally, I think it's just a lot easier to just use the iframes the weapon has to dodge a lot of the attacks. Antivirus level 3 is pretty good with Gore Magala set bonus. We have 1 level of Divine Blessing, 2 levels of Constitution, and 1 level of Flinch Free. This just kind of comes from the armor pieces we use, so it's really not that crazy. As for the armor pieces, the helmet you're wearing is Ebony Helm Beta. The chest piece is Arc Vulcan Mail Beta. Arms are Ebony Braces Alpha. The waist is Gore Coil Beta. Legs are Gore Greaves Beta. So we're wearing a lot of beta pieces. The only reason we're using Ebony Braces Alpha is because I was trying to do this build with Ebony Braces Beta, but I was always 1 level 3 decoration slots short. Either Weakness Exploit or Burst would be level 4, and I didn't really want that. And I thought about it, hey, Ebony Braces Alpha has 2 levels of Burst compared to the 1 level of Burst on the Beta. Despite the fact that Beta gives you more decoration slots, I don't think it really matters that much, because realistically you're either gonna get more levels of divine person. This is, I'm speaking for me, of course, like you're gonna do different things, absolutely, I understand that. I will use the decoration slots for either more levels of divine blessing, I like the skill a lot, or I will get 2 levels of adaptability. And adaptability is a very nice skill in the sense that you don't really have to worry about the uh, potions, like hot potion, cold potion, whatever. However, the fact that we have Sekirat in the game, you can just press the button. I'm not gonna say the button, I'm on the mouse and keyboard, I have a weird configuration. I don't wanna get bullied too much. Um, you press the button, you open the inventory, you pull the drink, boom, easy. Nothing too crazy. As for the decorations, now I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm like super lucky, or oh, like I pulled everything. No, I just melded everything. It took a long time, but it worked. Realistically, okay, wait, let's see. How do I do this? Edit decorations. So realistically, the hardest one to get, at least for me, was Razor Sharp Handicraft Jewel 3 and the second Sane Jewel. That was like impossible to find. Anyways, so for the decorations, we're using 1 critical jewel level 3 to get to 5, and we're using 1 critical jewel level 2. You can use, I have a second level 3, but I don't know, this just seems neater. Like it seems neat. You could go 3 if Capcom releases something that's crit boost plus something else, that'll be nice. Razor Sharp Handicraft, this gives us 3 levels of Razor Sharp and 1 level of Handicraft. Uh, in my experience, I haven't really had to sharpen my weapon aside from something like a tempered arc weld, where the hunt is going a long time and I'm kind of just like not playing as optimally as I could be playing. So personally, it's fine. If you are more comfortable with your abilities, you might want to get 5 levels of attack boost, because handicraft plus razor sharp can be enough. For me, it's not enough. So that's why I use the skills I use. 1 level of Mighty Jewel on the headpiece, like we don't really have too many slots. Tenderizer and Mighty Jewel in the chest piece. We can't put anything in the gauntlets, which is fine. We have Tenderizer and Might Jewel on, what is it called? The coil. We have Chain, level 3, to get to burst level 5. And then we have 2 Sane Jewels. Now, Sane, it's good antivirus. Like, it's one of those skills. It's very similar to Coalescence from Iceborne. Still in this game too, right? Where you get infected, you cure the infection, something cool happens. And oops, equipment info, skill info. Yeah. So antivirus, once infected, makes it easier to overcome frenzy and increases affinity if cured. So this gives us 15% affinity when we're cured, taking us to what's it called? 20% affinity. Burst, it just does more damage, right? Huge stat boost at level 5, pretty cool. And then we'll go to this thing. Weakness Exploit. Attacks that hit weak points have 30% increased affinity with an extra 20% on wounds. So if you're hitting wounds after you're cured, you will be getting 70% crit chance, which is really good. Not to mention, Max Might gives you 30% affinity while active. So you're getting 100% crit chance when you're hitting wounds. Now, wounds get destroyed, sure. Do you really need that to last 20% crit chance? It's pretty good. When it runs out, I'm not that upset. You already have such a high crit chance with all the skills combined that it doesn't really matter. Now, I will show a hunt, of course. Where is the hunt? I don't think me going there and bullying one of the monsters is really gonna do something you haven't seen before. Like, if you want some high level gameplay, there are people who are infinitely more skilled than I am. The reason I'm showing this build is because, I watch these videos, they're awesome. I love watching things like Team Darkside, where like, they're just going in, destroying the monsters. But, I'm not as good as them. I'm not as like able to micromanage everything, to to like just style on the monsters. This is a build, it has all the skills I want, all the skills I would want to do damage, and it doesn't require too much from me, aside from the fact of, hit the right spots, which I don't think is that demanding of a condition to do a lot of damage. It's not too crazy right now. As you know, the first title update is gonna come soon. So, the game will get harder, then you'll probably get new pieces of armor too. So this build is very subject to change. Hey, if you have any recommendations, ideas, and whatnot, comment them down below. I would love to hear them. Build crafting is my favorite part of Monster Hunter. That's it. That's the video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day and bye. Bye.